his finger, which is to relieve soreness. He's not the only one to do it in the game. Many top bowlers from various countries resort to the same to ease the pain when they are bowling. However, that has been the Indian response. As of now, most Australian media is reporting this. Many are also suggesting in India that this is coming at the back of sour grapes, so losers, because India is doing exceedingly well and has closed day one with a great show. Now, to get you more, Jadeja, that's the latest that we are getting in right now. An official response from the Indian cricket team has gone in with this is an ointment that Ravindra Jadeja uses to ease soreness to his fingers. Nikhil Naz and Rahul Rawat, my colleagues, join us for the very latest. Nikhil, take us through this entire controversy, especially at the time when India would be kicking back and celebrating a great show on day one, first innings.
Well, that's right, Preeti. And it's quite often whenever India does have a great show, some sort of controversy really comes. And the common factor is always the Australian team. It's happened before. They've poked the bear a few times before, and it's always backfired for them. Take a look at the 2008 series, the Monkey Gate, the infamous Monkey Gate. An Indian team came back, fought really well after that. The last series as well, there was a lot of controversy that was played here in 2017, brain fade and what have you. That backfired on the Australian team. I think this tour has been marred by controversy. It started, remember, Preeti, before on the eve of the test match, the biggest talking point wasn't whether Australia is a stronger team or India is the stronger team. The biggest talking point was the pitch. And the Australian media was up in arms saying that this is pitch tampering. India is making a pitch to their liking, and this is not within the spirit of the game. The ICC must look into it. The pitch played out perfectly today. The Australian team could not last very long against some spirited Indian bowling. So what happens now? That spirited Indian bowler who's making a comeback after 5 months in Ravindra Jadeja is now questioned based on the images that you're showing on your screen right now. Let me tell you what happened. And Rahul also joins me and probably give you a sort of an insight as to what the Indian team management has said in Nagpur. Right. The visuals that you see are of Mohammad Siraj, the Indian bowler. He comes close to Ravindra Jadeja. This is around the 16th over and offers back of his hand there. Ravindra Jadeja picks something from there and then applies it on his finger and then starts bowling. Now, why would that have been done? Because remember, Mohammad Siraj fields on the boundary. If any sort of medicine has to be passed on, it is to be given to a fielder. He then comes and passes on to the bowler. Then the bowler would apply that, as we're getting to hear right now, that was an ointment. Remember, he's coming back after a 5-month break. Yes. So because of his pain, he's put that. Also, you mustn't forget, he played a Ranji Trophy match just before this game where he bowled 40-odd overs. So his finger being sore is not surprising at all. So he's applied that. Just one thing I'd like to point out before you go to Rahul, that at the moment, all these allegations have only come courtesy the Australian media. The Australian team management for the moment hasn't complained. And if they haven't complained, it's not something that the ICC or anyone else really needs to look at the moment.
Well, that was going to be my next question, but stay with me. Nikhil, I want to cut across to Rahul. Rahul, has the Indian team, the Indian management come out with a response on these alleged allegations that are only gaining steam in, say, Australian media and possibly ex-cricketers from Australia also adding to it?
Well, Preeti, I was there at the ground today. In fact, when everything, whatever we've mentioned so far was happening. And, after that, in fact, Jadeja had a splendid performance today. He came out for the press conference also. Thereafter, when we got to know about this story that the Australian media has picked up, I spoke to a few people within the team, and they clearly are unhappy. Why? Because it questions the integrity of a senior player like Ravindra Jadeja, who's very much aware of the rules of the game. Now, what they have told me is that since he was away from cricket for the last 5 months, so now suddenly he is asked to bowl a long spell. 22 overs he bowled. So there was some soreness on his finger and he felt a bit of pain. So that ointment is a pain relief ointment. That is what he used, and there's nothing wrong with it. And he knows the rules of the game. It is just that the Australian media has always played the role of the 12th man of of this Australian team. And for the past couple of days, not even past couple of days, yesterday, and the same media organization, it keeps raking up these controversial, issues. What has happened on the eve of the Test match? They called this wicket a disgrace, where they were bundled out for 177, but the Indian openers, they didn't see any demons here. Now, this today in the morning, when Mohammad Siraj dismissed Usman Khwaja very early in the first over, what happened? The very same media organization said that there is some issue with the DRS, which is the Hawkeye, which tells you whether where the ball has pitched and its trajectory. By the way, this media organization is based out of UK, and the Hawkeye is maintained and operated by officials from that organization. These are Englishmen, by the way, and they are the ones who will travel anywhere and everywhere wherever this technology is being used. So to question Hawkeye
Right.
it would be better if they would ask people in that organization in UK. Thirdly, as far as this issue is concerned, they've never had issues. In fact, three of the protagonists of one of the darkest period in Australian cricket, not too long ago, 5 years ago, Steve Smith, Peter Handscomb, and David Warner were banned from cricket. What happened there? Sandpaper Gate. They tried to, not tried to, actually, they were found guilty of ball tampering.
Right.
Then the ex or the former Australian captain who first picked up this story, Tim Payne, that you mentioned very early in the story, is I don't know if I can use or I should use as the disgraced captain of the Australian team. He walked out of that dressing room after some of his text messages came out in the open, and Cricket Australia they tried to
Right.
hush up that entire controversy, and Tim Payne had to walk out of that dressing room and said, "I want to take a break. I'm not feeling mentally. I'm not feeling well." So these are issues that the Australian media, and by the way, it's not that Australian media themselves they come up with these stories. What
Right.
happens usually that they the Australian media travel with the players and they give them these kind of
Leaks.
newsy stuff.
Right. Well, Rahul, thank you for setting the record straight. And of course, we're not going to get into, washing Australia's dirty linen. We want to keep it straight. We're performing superbly well. And ultimately, Nikhil, I'll bring you in on this. For anyone who's looking at it and all the doubters out there, what is exactly ball tampering? The action that you see Ravindra Jadeja indulge in, are other bowlers also doing the same across, countries?
So Preeti, that's a very interesting question. Ball tampering is in any way if you're trying to alter the condition of the ball, whether you're doing it with your hands, that is using your nails and altering the seam of the ball, that would constitute as ball tampering, or if you're using an external substance. There have been occasions where players have used, gummy bears. They've used some sort of toffees, cold toffees that they've used to rough off the surface, to make the lacquer really shine. Vaseline is another item that has been used previously to tamper the ball. So any which way, whether you're using an outside object or using your own hands to alter the condition of the ball, that would amount to ball tampering. Now, there have been occasions that that's happened. In this case, what you clearly see in the picture is that he takes that ointment and only applies to his finger. There is no direct contact of that ointment being rubbed onto the ball. Yes, doubters can argue that, listen, the ball does come in contact with the ball, and by that extension, that would amount to rubbing any sort of surface to the ball. But I don't think that would hold water at the moment, since there is no direct contact of that ointment to the ball. And secondly, which is the most basic thing, Preeti, this entire ball tampering started because you wanted to rough one side of the ball up so that you could get reverse swing. Reverse swing is something that assists fast bowlers. This pitch, the fast bowlers have been quite, unproductive productive in that sense because it's helping the spinners. Majority of the wickets today, 8 out of 10 wickets that India picked was picked by spinners. You would not see a spinner using that kind of ointment to make the ball reverse swing. So it just defies logic, just defies what actually ball tampering is for. And Ravindra Jadeja doing it, it doesn't make sense.
Rahul, one quick question. The kind of ointment that we see Ravindra Jadeja rub on his index finger, do other countries, bowlers from other cricket-playing nations also do the same? You know, is it very normal?
Well, for Ravindra Jadeja, it's not very normal. This is the reason. I've already mentioned it before, but what you are asking, yes, they do. In fact, finger spinners, especially the finger spinners, like Ravindra Jadeja is a finger spinner. Ravi Ashwin is a finger spinner. Akshar Patel is also a finger spinner. So over the years, they tend to have problems with their fingers. So this is the reason why they normally at times they do use these kind of ointments. But for Ravindra Jadeja, it was completely a case of soreness. He was feeling pain. And I'll just give you an example. Legendary Saqlain Mushtaq, by the time towards the end of his career, one of his fingers actually felt numb because he was bowling with that. He was using that finger so often over the years while playing cricket that it went numb after a point.
All right, gentlemen, appreciate both of you for joining us. And we didn't quite need to, but putting the record straight. But one thing, or setting the record straight there. But one thing again, we'd like to say all of this is a figment of the imagination of the Australian media. Till now, there is no official word coming in from the Australian team management at all, or any complaint thereof. So we're going to let it rest. The Australian media can have a field day while we have a field day on the pitch, which we did. Thank you, gentlemen, there. I just want to quickly shift focus now to the other developing political story. And we've had 2 days of mega developments. And the Prime Minister who spoke in Lok Sabha yesterday and in Rajya Sabha today. Prime Minister Modi was in top form, lashing out at the opposition and the Gandhis in Rajya Sabha. Well, all around you could hear an echo, a non-stop echo of Modi Adani Bhai Bhai. The Prime Minister countered the Congress with one strike after the other, repeating his compulsive criticism jibe. Also, talking about why many people in the Congress are shying off taking the Nehru name. All of that and more. Listen in.
देश देख रहा है एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है अरे नारे बोलने के लिए भी उनको बदल करना पड़ता है जो भी ये बोलता है जन के फर्ज से आवाज की जवाब देना आदरणीय सभापति जी एक कन्विक्शन के कारण चला हूं देश के लिए जीता हूं देश के लिए कुछ करने के लिए निकला हुआ हूं और इसलिए ये राजनीतिक खेल खेलने वाले लोग उनके अंदर वो हौसला नहीं है वो ढूंढ रहे हैं बचने का रास्ता खोज रहे हैं मैं यही कहूंगा कीचड़ उसके पास था कीचड़ उसके पास था मेरे पास गुलाल उसके पास था मेरे पास गुलाल जो भी जिसके पास था उसने दिया उछाल जितना कीचड़ उछालोगे कमल उतना ही ज्यादा खिलेगा मैं जानता हूं ये आसान नहीं है हमें बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी और वो रास्ता हमने चुना है सैचुरेशन का हर योजना के जो लाभार्थी हैं 100% लाभ कैसे पहुंचे 100% लाभार्थियों को लाभ पहुंचे बिना रोक टोक के लाभ पहुंचे और मैं कहता हूं अगर सच्चा पंथ निरपेक्षता है तो यही है यही सच्ची पंथ निरपेक्षता है यही सच्चा सेकुलरिज्म है हम देश को विकास का ये मॉडल दे रहे हैं जिसमें हितधारक सबको उनके हक मिले। देश हमारे साथ है। कुछ लोगों को समझना होगा, ये सदियों पुराना देश सामान्य मानवी के पसीने और पुरुषार्थ से बना हुआ देश, जन जन की पीढ़ियों की परंपरा से बना हुआ देश है। ये देश किसी परिवार की जागीर नहीं है। 600 जितनी सरकारी योजनाएं सिर्फ गांधी नेहरू परिवार के नाम पे है। आदरणीय सभापति जी, किसी कार्यक्रम में अगर नेहरू जी के नाम का उल्लेख नहीं हुआ तो कुछ लोगों के बाल खड़े हो जाते हैं। मैं बहुत आश्चर्य होता है कि चलो भाई, हमसे कभी छूट जाता होगा नेहरू जी का नाम, और छूट जाता होता होगा हम ठीक भी कर लेंगे क्योंकि वो देश के पहले प्रधानमंत्री थे। लेकिन मुझे ये समझ नहीं आता है कि उनकी पीढ़ी का कोई व्यक्ति नेहरू सरनेम रखने से डरता क्यों है।
Well, ek akela sab par bhari is what the Prime Minister said. Is he setting the agenda for 2024? Modi against all. That entire over 1 hour speech, constantly you could hear the echo of Modi, Adani, bhai. Certain questions that we're going to ask. Prime Minister Modi's popularity unbreachable. Is this plain speak or hubris? On the other hand, the attack by the opposition, has it been a hit or a miss? Let's cut across to our panelists this evening. Syed Zafar Islam, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson; Sanjay Kumar, co-director, Lok Niti, CSTS, and psephologist; Manikam Tagore, Congress MP; Rahul Srivastav, our national affairs editor. I want to begin, if our political panelists allow us, I'd cut across to Rahul Srivastav. Rahul, all right, we don't have Rahul Srivastav. We're going to cut across to him in just a short while. But, all right. Let's begin right now with Sanjay Kumar, the co-director of Lok Niti CSTS. Sanjay Kumar, if you put your psephology hat on, do you think, because, we'd seen that entire Chaukidar Chor Hai campaign by the Congress and the opposition running up to 2019. It didn't quite work then. At that point of time, it did seem that Modi, the Prime Minister, had a Teflon-coated image. Does that still exist in the mind of the people? Or do you think the person who said "Ek aadmi sab par bhari" is actually correct, even though the chants of him around him was Adani, Modi, bhai?
No, I think there may be a slight dent in Prime Minister Modi's image, but I'm using the word slight because overall, if I look at Prime Minister Modi's popularity, he is still very popular. Far more popular compared to any other leader from any opposition party. Whatever allegations are being made on Prime Minister Modi about, Modi, Adani, bhai, etc. I think these are all echoes within the parliament. It doesn't go well with the common people on the ground who are the voters of this country. They are in very large numbers. So I don't see his image, Prime Minister Modi's image, getting dented so much that in 2024 BJP could be in a trouble. I don't see that happening at all.
All right, okay, that takes me to Syed Zafar Islam. Syed Zafar Islam, the Prime Minister in Lok Sabha attacking Rahul Gandhi, of course, also talking about what the government or the BJP since 2014 has brought to India and possibly what the 60 years of Congress had not. Today, it was more concerted on the Congress-led opposition through the years before the BJP came in governance. But through it all, the question of Adani was not even touched. The name was not even mentioned. Not that that maybe the Prime Minister wanted to validate what the Congress was saying or validate what the Congress was saying or what Rahul Gandhi said in Parliament yesterday. But also somewhere down the line, it's a story that is playing out outside the Parliament as well. Was he completely avoiding the elephant of the room? Or if he did speak about Adani, somewhere down the line, he would validate the charges made by the opposition, including Rahul Gandhi?
Well, first of all, you have to understand whatever has been spoken by Congress leaders, be it Rahul Gandhi or for that matter any other leader, it doesn't merit any response. It doesn't warrant any response, and I don't think that anyone should speak about it because it's a private business.
Said Zafar Islam, but
there
no,
are many
no.
businessmen in the country.
No.
There are many businesses.
But it's a story that is playing out in public domain as well. It's not just limited to the confines of the parliament.
Not at all. When you say public domain, who are you talking about? There are only 2% of entire 140 crore people who invest in the stock market. Who else you are talking about? And that everybody is not exposed to Adani stocks. Then all those allegations are being made by the Congress leaders are actually baseless, which has no merit. Now you have to understand that Adani Enterprise or Adani as a businessman have been accessing to global markets for raising resources. It's not only that he has access to local market where he has raised only 35% of the total debt he has raised for his businesses. 65% of the debt has been raised from the overseas market, from overseas capital market, where all the investors, they do lots of due diligence before making investments. So all these investment statements which is being made are absolutely baseless and doesn't warrant any response because opposition party has no
Islam,
other
if they don't warrant any response,
every
I'd like to
single
bring it.
session.
Okay.
No.
I'll bring in Manikam Tagore, but I'd ask you this: if they don't warrant any,
want to complete.
Complete, sir. Please complete.
No, just the last 10 seconds. All I'm saying that the opposition is irresponsible. Their behavior is irresponsible. They do not want business to be transacted on the floor of the parliament. That's why every session, beginning of every session, they'll pick one issue and they'll just disrupt the parliament. That is something they feel that they are doing right, but actually they are doing against the democratic process and what their job as a
one is to believe,
as a policy maker they should be doing.
Sir, if one is to believe that the charges leveled by the Congress or the TMC or the other opposition political parties merit absolutely no response, then why expunge practically everything that the opposition has said? Be it Mahua Moitra's speech, be it Rahul Gandhi's speech, or be it even Mallikarjun Kharge's speech. 18 remarks by Rahul Gandhi in Lok Sabha were completely expunged. Every question asked of the Prime Minister was expunged. It wasn't an allegation, sir. If you say that they were completely baseless and not without proof, questions don't need to have proof. But why were they expunged?
Preeti, you have to understand the parliamentary protocol. The parliament, you have to use certain words which you cannot, and you are barred to use certain words. And that's why it is the responsibility of the chair to decide whether what needs to be kept in the speech and the parliamentary record.
But sir, where does it become unfit to question the Prime Minister in Parliament?
It is the prerogative of the chair, and based on the certain protocol. No, I'm saying that it is the prerogative of the chair based on protocol which needs to be followed. I mean, it is in line with
the prerogative of the
protocol which has been followed since ages.
But sir, it's the prerogative of the chair, and there are many instances, possibly in one instance where Mr. Kharge's remarks have been expunged, so I can't really say what he said, were the same remarks that were used by Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee criticizing the Congress at that point of time, and his remarks are still on record. And I'm in a little duality. Can I quote Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Because I can't quote Mr. Kharge. But away from that, I'll bring in Manikam Tagore into this conversation as well. Manikam Tagore, somewhere down the line, with what happened yesterday, with what happened today, has the Prime Minister completely defeated the objective of the narrative that the Congress wanted to build?
Thank you. But the main thing is that we had been telling about this parliament has been, they don't allow us to speak first. Mics were switched off for the past 9 years. Now, when after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji kept on saying that mics are switched off and we are not allowed to speak, raise the people's issue in the parliament. Now mics are on. Now they are asking now when the speaker and the chairman allows the speech to be there, then the ruling benches pressurize the speaker and the chairman to expunge our speeches. That's the thing. That's the second difference we are bringing it, and we feel that Congress party, we are able to bring that that jitteriness in the BJP's camp, and particularly Mr. Prime Minister, who has a great oratorical skill, was in his back foot yesterday, and today he was completely like speaking like a pracharak. He was not the Pradhan Sevak. He was completely out of the box, and he was repeating the same old WhatsApp university stories of him about what Mr. Amit Shah's speech in 2019 or something. He was repeating about the names of the Gandhis and Nehrus and others. These are all old WhatsApp stories of BJP, which has been circulating. As Prime Minister, after nine years, he should have had the guts to say that, yes, if there is any mistake, I will not protect any wrongdoing. If there is Adani has done a mistake, let me order for a JPC. JPC is going to be full of BJP members. 20 members are going to be from BJP. What they are afraid about it? If they have ordered a CBI inquiry monitored with an High Court judge, what is the problem in it? He should have kept a step high than anybody else. But what Mr. Modi did it, he was not ready to allow the word Adani in the parliament. All the speeches of Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji, wherever he mentioned that Adani, has been taken out. He told that the BJP, earlier that BJP friend who spoke about coming together and working together is...
Mr. Tagore, that comment has been expunged. I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to get my show into trouble or you into trouble. Please do not quote expunged.
That I'm not telling about the expunged thing. But
okay, go ahead, sir.
But
make your point.
There are queries, there are questions. Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji has raised it about Adani ji and Modi ji's travel together. That was not expunged. Therefore, we will raise it and we will write to Prime Minister. I'm going to write to the Prime Minister tomorrow.
But okay, Manikam Tagore, okay, I want to bring in Zafar Islam also into this conversation, but I'll ask you. You've tried to do this before. You failed miserably. The entire Chaukidar Chor hai backfired, and you know exactly how, in terms of the number of presence you have in Lok Sabha, is down to 53, sir. So, what makes you so sure that it's going to not, the Adani Modi Bhai Bhai statement is going to come back and do exactly the same with what Chaukidar Chor hai did? So when you actually allege the Prime Minister or accuse him of hubris, it could be you right now being accused of the same.
No, you have to understand that every election is a different election. In that time, Pulwama happened, and how after that, politics went in a different direction. We all know that thing that sophologists like Sanjay ji can what was the story in December and January, and what was the story in April. We all know that thing. Every election is a different election. I don't want to go into that picture now. Mr. Adani is in a on Adani issue, Mr. Modi is on a back foot, and the whole government is not able to answer. They are just becoming cheerleaders for Mr. Ambani and Adani. That's the problem there. Parliament, if you see it, if you speak to the ministers, MPs and others, everybody is clueless. They are not knowing the water kya hone wala hai. Therefore only we are calling Adani, Ambani, bye-bye. Because nobody knows what is going to happen with these issues.
You dragged in Sanjay Kumar, who started the show and saying that the Prime Minister Modi's Teflon coating is pretty much intact. There might be a scratch or two, but that's that. But Mr. Kumar, I'll bring you in because you've been referred to again. And I want to ask you, Chaukidar Chor hai completely backfired. Adani, Modi, Bhai Bhai, do you see it at any traction, or it could actually backfire at the Congress again?
Preeti, I don't know whether it is going to backfire or not, but at the moment I don't see any attraction among the people. Yes, this was the shouting slogan within Rajya Sabha today. But if you talk to the common people, they have heard about what is going on in the media, etc. But the common people tend to believe that this is nothing unusual, that their political parties do require money and the big business houses do give support to political parties. So people don't see it as something unusual. So right. I don't see this, I won't say this would backfire as the other slogan of Chaukidar Chor has backfired in 2019, but I don't see that this is holding very strong among the common people of this country.
Sanjay Kumar, the fact that, the last Mood of the Nation survey done by India today, 52% wanted Prime Minister Modi to continue to lead India. Would you think that percentage is pretty much intact?
Almost. This is a moment, if you do a survey tomorrow, hypothetically, maybe 52 would come down to 49. But it is not the case that 52 would have come down to 30. That's not the case. Couple of percentages this side or that side, that can happen. And I don't say that there is no possibility of that. There may be some dent. But look at the popularity of other leaders. Prime Minister Modi still remains far more popular compared to any other of his competitors. So he has an edge. He has a huge edge over all other.
Said Zafar Islam, for
leaders.
once, let's say, okay, it's settled that the Prime Minister, with what he possibly concluded his speech with, that he alone outweighs the entire opposition together, still holds. But having said that, when you do talk about a democracy, every time we can't say the chair has decided. Now, how is it that in a democracy, when you expunge remarks in Lok Sabha, where do you see the opposition actually come out and question the government? The Parliament is a floor to do so. And somewhere down the line, when Rahul Gandhi says that democracy was cremated in Lok Sabha today, is he really further from the truth? Because you've expunged every question, not just Rahul Gandhi, Mahua Moitra, any opposition leader who's named Adani in their statements or in their speeches in Parliament, expunged. Where should they take their questions to? They're supposed to do it in Parliament.
Let me tell you very candidly one thing, that the Honorable Prime Minister yesterday and even today exposed Congress party completely, and Congress party stands exposed today in the eyes of the public. Whatever stunts they will do, it will backfire on them like it has backfired on them in the past. These are the stunts. Making a statement against Honorable Prime Minister time and again, putting him in the dock, is not something which people of India likes. Because he is the one who is actually not safeguarding the interests of the country, but also ensuring that every citizen of the country and their interest is safeguarded by the government. And people admire him. His popularity is only rising and rising and rising. So anybody who wants to dent his popularity without any substance will never succeed.
But Mr. Said Zafran, the last I heard we were a democracy.
Very meticulous when it comes to
the last I heard we were a democracy. The question is the government resorting to censorship in Parliament? Is the government resorting to censorship in Parliament? Can a few, including the chair, decide that the people of India don't like these questions? Maybe there are some people only. Even by our survey, only 52% of India want the Prime Minister Modi to lead the country. What about the rest 48%? Have we decided for them that we don't want these questions?
Well, you have Mr. Manik Tagore on your show. He's speaking us, whatever he wants to speak.
He's still with us.
I mean, it's not only that, sir. Yeah, of course, he is there. Yeah, he's there.
But so, sir, those comments are
anybody
expunged.
Who wants to speak in the media, they are free to speak in the media, but in the Parliament, there is certain protocol one has to follow. And if they divert and digress, then it is the responsibility of the chair that those remarks need to be expunged, and that has been done.
All right, okay, Manikam Tagore, where's the proof? Furbish the proof. What is stopping the Congress from putting out full paper ads where you furbish the proof on the charges that you've made?
We have to be very clear. In Parliament, when a member of Parliament speaks, he raises issues. We are not cheerleaders there. As opposition party members, we are raising people's issue. People's money is involved. One person has taken away from LIC and SBA has hugely invested on one friend of our Prime Minister, Modi ji, and Adani has gone from 609th place
but
to
Mr. Tagore,
second.
if I may, I'm sorry, sir, I'm interrupting you. You say the exposure that Adani has
this
to
kind of argument,
LIC and the SBI, you're talking about all of that.
Kind of
but that's what Mr. Zafar Islam is saying. You're saying there's exposure, you're saying people are losing money. Prove it. How difficult is that? Put long paper ads. Give the proof.
You allow me to.
Yes, sir.
Please
allow
me to
sorry.
complete
I
it.
apologize.
Then I'll say about it. How the value of the shares gone down for Adani suddenly after 24th January report from US. How it came? Suddenly, how his shares were falling. 9 lakh crores has gone into, has gone. His wealth has gone down from second richest to 17th richest now. Therefore, we are asking queries. We are, as opposition party, should we ask queries or we should just say, wah, 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 Modi Saab, wah, wah, Modi Saab. We have to say that queries, we have to ask in Parliament. When budget session is there, when we have to ask queries, what is
Can I
the
just
problem
respond?
in it? Parliament,
Can I just
we are
respond?
not a North Korean republic now.
Okay,
We have
Mr.
to ask
Islam.
questions.
Okay, sir, you've raised some
Prime
questions.
Minister
Mr.
has to
Islam,
answer.
Can I just respond
If he
to
has
that?
the guts, he should say that I don't have any connections with Adani. I will have an independent inquiry. I am ready for a JPC. That is called 56-inch chest.
Mr.
But you
Madhikar
are not ready to
Tagore.
mention about Adani.
Okay, Mr. Tagore, just stay. Mr. Islam,
Yes,
quickly,
brother.
then I need to wrap the show, sir. Go
Can I
ahead.
just respond to him?
Yes, please.
Actually, there is a business advisory committee where the representation is from all the parties. They can discuss all the subjects each party wants to discuss, and there is always a meeting grounds once the discussion takes place, and they decide finally what are the issues they need to discuss in the Parliament. They can raise any issue there in the business advisory committee, have an agreement, and then we are always welcoming whatever business advisory committee discuss and decide.
Okay.
And finally, we need to discuss on the floor of the Parliament. It is us who always tell them to be responsible, discuss. They want disruption. We want discussion, they want disruption. That is the differentiating factor between us and them. And the people of India do know that what is driving them and what is driving us.
Okay,
We are driven by only one thought, that we have to safeguard the interests of the India and the people of this great country, and we will always work towards that, while these people are only working for their own benefits and benefits of few.
All right, Mr. Tagore, that's an image which is very tough to beat, because the figures that the Prime Minister did give in terms of the airports during your regime, in terms of the airports, the roads, was staggeringly different. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Mr. Tagore, go ahead.
We are very clear. We want discussion in Parliament. We have raised it in the BAC. Go to the BAC record. I am a whip of the party. And I can assure you the thing that we had raised it in the Parliament, we had put it in we wanted a separate discussion on these things, all are happening. But it is not allowed because the ruling party wants to run in one way. They don't want to have a discussion itself.
May I with that?
We are not cheerleaders. We are opposition leaders.
Okay, gentlemen.
We can't be cheerleaders. Let us understand it.
Gentlemen,
it is not 2020.
All right,
we
sir.
are opposition leaders. We will ask questions. We are voted against. We are voted to ask questions against you.
Okay, fair enough. Appreciate all three of you for joining us. Sanjay Kumar, thank you. Zafar Islam, appreciate it, sir. Manikam Tagore, thank you for joining us. I think one thing that we made clear right on the top of the bulletin, it's something that even the Mood of the Nation India Today survey holds, that Prime Minister still more or less has that Teflon image. Will it dent it? Possibly not. You've heard many analysts say it. Pretty clear. But on the other account, to expunge statements where there are allegations made without facts or proof, understandable. But to expunge questions that are asked of the Prime Minister, or to expunge statements where the name Adani has been taken, one doesn't quite understand why. Is there censorship in Parliament? Where does the opposition actually go ahead and take or raise the very important issues that it should raise on the floor of the Parliament? A quick break. Up next, BJP's releases its manifesto for Tripura elections. We're going to get you that. Stay with us.
तो जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है.
Thank Mr. Puri.
I thank you for giving me the chance to address you.
Terrorism now a global issue.
The First Lady position is so unusual.
Never in my career did I ever see that love and affection in any other country than we saw in India in '79.
Pakistan has been responsible chronically for association with sponsorship of terrorist groups.
Amazon, the company that delivers packages at your doorstep, could soon be seen delivering you the electricity. In order to trade clean energy in India, Amazon has established a new energy company called AEI New Energy Trading Private Limited that works with Indian energy producing firms. While the US-based company will utilize the energy to power its own operations, there's a chance it may also power your home. The largest corporate consumer of clean energy in the world holds a Category 3 trade license in India. The American company has contracted with private firms to supply it with 720 megawatts of power. Amazon will use this electricity to power its warehouses, cloud services centers, web centers, other operations, and to our homes through local electricity service providers. But why is this billion-dollar behemoth attempting to enter the electricity market when its primary business is thriving? The answer is to target of becoming a carbon-neutral firm by 2040. This would also assist India in achieving its carbon-neutral goal, which was set for 2070. By 2047, the nation also aims to revolutionize power generation through the development of green energy and enhance job growth. So soon, it could be a possibility that our Amazon OTT box is powered by Amazon itself.
Membership ek, khushiyan anek.
Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Welcome back. Now, the BJP today released its manifesto for Tripura elections. The manifesto released by party president JP Nadda in Agartala offers many welfare measures. The promises include 50,000 rupees to girl child born to poor families, free scooties for women college students. The Tripura election is scheduled to be held on the 16th of February. Meanwhile, a three-way fight is unfolding in Tripura, which goes to assembly elections next week. The Tripura Mota party, led by Pradyut Burman, is giving the ruling BJP and Congress CPM alliance sleepless nights. Is Tripura Mota fighting to win power or possibly come to be the kingmaker? Here is an exclusive interview of Pradyut Burman by our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai.
Okay, Pradyut, let's start with the big question. Are you in this election as kingmaker, to be king, or simply to be a vote cutter? What is the role of the Tripura Mota in this election?
I don't think that in a democracy it's good to use words like king and kingmaker. I think kings are made by God and kingmakers are also appointed by God. I think in this election we are basically trying to prove a point that the indigenous people of Tripura, who are actually the original inhabitants of the land, need their rights to be restored. And it's our view. It is this election is not being fought from the prism of what BJP wants or what Congress wants or the Communist wants. It's from what the tribals want, and that's what we are fighting.
No, but tribals are what? 35% of Tripura's population. More than 1 in every 3 is a tribal. You're calling for, as per your manifesto, for a permanent constitutional solution for the indigenous people of Tripura. Now, I want to get a straight answer. Are you calling for a separate state within a state? Are you calling under Article 2 and 3 of the Constitution, do you want a separate state within Tripura?
I have a point of view which has been over the years that we should have a separate state under Article 2 and 3. We are also open to an idea of a solution, a constitutional solution. But that solution has to be given to us in writing so that we can go and show to the people if that is enough or not. The fact is that we want to have a constitutional solution and a dialogue with respective players, whether it's in the opposition or in the government, to bring in a one-time solution.
What's this one-time solution? You've got an autonomous council at the moment.
To the initial question that you said that we are 35%. Please mark my words, Rajdeep. If things don't improve, we'll become 15 to 20% in the next 10 years. What you're seeing is that the tribals actually have no protection. You have actually created statutes, but you have actually not empowered them. You've actually made laws, but you have made it unimplementable. So what we are asking for is legislative powers with powers to enforce these laws that we make. Independence and autonomy in making these laws and implementing them, which hasn't happened.
You've got an autonomous council at the moment, which in fact the Tripura Mota did very well in 2 years ago. You control it. That's clearly not enough. You want more, right?
The autonomous council, all parties, including the BJP, have said that they need to give more to empower the autonomous council. Why is it so? What has prevented the Communist Party, which says today that we need to empower the autonomous council more? They were in power for 25 years. The Congress was in power for 15 years. Before that, the BJP has been in power, but they are saying nothing. So they have all agreed after Tripura Mota has come that more needs to be done. My point is, why did it take Tripura Mota to come to power for all of them to come and agree that not enough was done for the autonomous council?
I'll tell you why, Pradyut. A couple of fears. One is that if your demand is acceded to, then tomorrow there'll be demands across the country. There'll be a demand in North Bengal. There'll be a demand from the Karbi Anglong. Across the country, people will say, we want a state within a state. It will open up the floodgates.
Pandora's box.
Yes. It'll open up.
Then make a law in the parliament that the people of Tripura or the people of Gorkhaland or Bundelkhand or Harit Pradesh have no right to ask for a separate state or a separate constitutional solution. If you make it a law, then scrap that out of the parliament and we'll keep quiet. But as long as the Constitution of India gives us that provision to demand something which is very much within our rights, why should we keep quiet?
Now, what's the geographical boundary? Have you thought about the geographical boundary of this state?
The council area, plus the 36 villages which are left out of it, which are inhabited by the indigenous people, at some point have been left out. That's it.
Because the fear is it could...
There is no fear.
It could move into other states. The fear is simply this.
We are not
once the government of India accepts the demand of your demand for what do you call it, greater Tripura land, others will also ask.
You can change the name, call it Modi land. I have no problem. Sardar Patel land. I have no problem. My point is, you are talking to NSCN, which is asking for Greater Nagaland, which is asking for sovereignty, which is asking for a separate constitution, which is asking for a separate flag. You were talking to the Hurriyat, which were against the basic ideology of BJP of 370. You were talking to PDP. But today, you are not going to talk to the tribals of Tripura because they don't suit your larger national narrative. I think that is very wrong.
This is a state which has usually voted one way or the other.
Yeah.
Left, now the BJP. How do you see this all playing out? Are you saying that the politics now is more fragmented and therefore these 20 tribal seats will decide which way Tripura goes this time?
No, I think there's more than 20 tribal seats. There are almost 28 seats where...
You're contesting 42.
42. The fact is that I think there is a bit of despondency amongst the people of Tripura across all communities because the left ruled for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the BJP came with a sense of promises which they have not been able to deliver. They've changed the chief minister within 4.5 years. And the expectations, which are so high, have actually fallen flat. So I think that has led to a division of opinion. And our party has not compromised. We've stuck to our demand and we've stuck to our cause from the very beginning. That's why I like to call our party more of a movement than a political party.
Pradyut, in all of this, there's the question that at the end of the day, if you don't win this election, what happens next? If you're not in that position, if the BJP proves itself, they've got their own tribal partner in the IPFT.
Yeah.
And the IPFT has been their partner for the last few years and eventually tied up with them. So if they were to win, where does that leave you? Is this a make or break election for you, or you will continue with this movement as your
This is a make and break movement for all of us, the entire community, because there will be delimitation in 2025-26, and then the real irony will be seen. All those parties which are making short-term sacrifices or compromises for individual gains will realize that if we do not unite right now and speak in one voice for the protection of the land, for the protection of our forests, for the protection of our resources and our future, not only economic but political, economic, social and cultural rights, we will have a huge crisis in hand.
Rishabh Shetty has announced that a prequel to Kantara is in the works. During the event which celebrated the 100 days completion of the first part, he said, and we quote, "We are very pleased and thankful to the audience who had shown immense love and support to Kantara and taking the journey ahead. With the blessings of Almighty Daiva, the film has successfully completed 100 days, and I would like to take this opportunity to announce the prequel of Kantara. What you have seen is actually part 2. Part 1 will come next year. As the research is still progressing, it would be very early to reveal details about the film." Production house Humbale Films took to social media to share a video showing a glimpse of the celebrations and wrote, "Celebrating 100 days of timeless tales, cherished memories. Kantara, a souvenir to remember." Kantara is an action thriller that revolves around Bhutakola, a traditional dance for the deity. The film's cast includes Kishore Achyut Kumar, Saptami Gowda and Pramod Shetty in pivotal roles. Jackie Shroff is currently filming for Rajnikant starrer Jailer in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. A video of Jackie Shroff from the sets has now gone viral on social media. In the clip, he can be seen greeting fans and shaking hands with them. Recently, the makers had even unveiled Jackie's first look poster from the film. Rajnikant too received a royal welcome earlier when he arrived in Jaisalmer for the Jailer shoot. Directed by Nelson Dilip Kumar, the film comprises of a stellar cast including Tamanna Bhatia, Ramya Krishnan and Yogi Babu. Malayalam and Kannada superstars Mohanlal and Shivaraj Kumar will also be seen making special appearances in Jailer. Jailer is expected to roll out in cinemas on April 14th.
Shah Rukh Khan's Pathan has been rocking at the movie theatres. It is in fact being touted as the best action movie of recent times. But is it true? What does the Tech Today community think about it? Are the tech sequences worth watching the movie in the movie theatre, or will the Tech Today community wait to watch it on OTT? Let's try and find out. Where will it be, in the cinema theatre or on OTT?
Cinemas. SRK in cinemas.
Movie theatre. OTT.
Will you be watching it in an IMAX or in a regular theatre?
IMAX for sure.
Yeah, that is really heavy, great VFX, and even John Abraham also, I like him, and Shah Rukh Khan especially.
I have heard a lot about it, how it has a parallel from a Christopher Nolan ka movie, and the technologies that they've used is same, so I want to explore that.
Not interested in watching in a movie theatre.
Is there any reason why you're averse to going to a movie theatre?
I feel more relaxed watching it at home.
Yes, if it releases in Amazon or Netflix, otherwise not.
Actually, we went to the cinema hall yesterday. I almost wanted to watch it, but my wife said we'll watch it on OTT.
makers of Selfie have shared the teaser of Kudieni Teri. The song will feature Akshay Kumar and Mrunal Thakur in a never-before-seen look. Discover the magic of smart lights on India Today Prime Time. Brought to you by Jaguar Bath and Light. Turkey's worst natural calamity. Heartbreaking human tragedy unfolds. Death, destruction, and debris. Silence in the city, gut-wrenching. Images of suffering, hope, and redemption.
Despite the inclement weather, rescue workers are working virtually round the clock.
Gaurav Sawant, live from quake epicenter.
Hello and welcome to an India Today special broadcast that comes to you from the 60 Para Field Hospital of the Indian Army here in the Hatay province of Turkey. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As of now, the death toll in that devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria has crossed 15,000, and unfortunately, as more debris and rubble are removed, when more bodies emerge, the death toll is set to rise. But in this death toll, there is also this war to save lives that's on. Doctors, rescue workers, the common man on the street, everybody here in Turkey, in fact from across the world, Indian Army teams, NDRF teams, relief teams from across the world, they're desperately trying to race against time to save lives. I bring you this ground report from the Hatay province.
Over 15,000 dead. Thousands more injured. And millions left homeless. These numbers unfortunately continue to climb up as rescue operations